Arsenal FC. The club boasts 13 Premier League championships, 14 domestic cups, and a history that goes all the way back to 1886. The team has not won the Premier League since the 2003-2004 season, hasn't gotten close since a second place finish in 2015-2016, and in the last two seasons have finished 8th in the Premier League. Two of their worst finishes since finishing 12th in 1994-95. Despite its domestic success, Arsenal is not able to boast much European success, as they have been runner-up in the Champions League and the Europa League, but are yet to claim either trophy. Now in 2021-22, the board of Arsenal FC is making a call to manager data, has a little bit of experience with Trapani Calcio in Italy's Serie B, getting the call up to Arsenal. They've seen the success in the NHL, in Formula One, in Major League Baseball. They want to see if former GM data, now manager data, can bring some of that success across the pond to a team that desperately needs it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our FIFA 22 Manager Mode series with Arsenal Football Club. How's it going, everyone? Data here, and yes, welcome to our newest series here on the channel on FIFA 22. I've decided that Arsenal will be a great team to start with, as it's a team that has a lot of money, a lot of good talent, a lot of good overall players, but have been struggling and looking for success, as opposed to doing a full-on rebuild from a Division 3 or 4 team. You may have seen the Trapani Calcio series, where we took a team at the bottom of Italy's second division, and we played 4 seasons with them. Something I was more comfortable with, as I do watch a lot of Italian Serie A. I'm not going to claim to be some sort of Premier League buff. Maybe in 2015 I could name most of the players in the Premier League, but it's been a little while since 2015. So I'm not going to pretend to know every single player on this team or in the league, but we will learn as we go, as I'm sure you will be learning as well. If you don't know much about the Premier League and European football, then we're going to learn together as we go. Starting off with all the board expectations and all the information here, we're taking over Arsenal FC. As I mentioned, a team that is starving for success after a lot of second places, third places, fourth places, and after the last couple seasons, 2 8th places, really unprecedented since the early 90s. So this team is starving for success, and manager data is going to try and bring it to them. Domestic success, the board, that is a high expectation for them on the range of things they're looking for. Continental success, all of Europe, also very high, but brand exposure is critical, #1 expectation. Financial is medium, youth development is medium, as the team does have a lot of money and can buy players. They don't have to always think about developing youth as much. But starting it off here, let's start looking into things. If you didn't already read the blurb, you could see it there. Club founded in 1886. The club has reached the UEFA Champions League final in 2006, keeping a competition record of 10 successive clean sheets along the way. That was great, but they lost to Barcelona. Transfer budget and club worth is going to change a little bit, because I'm going to play in in pounds, not in dollars. But $107 million we're looking at right now. In FIFA 21 with Trapani, I did play most of the games. It was rare that we simulated, but I'm going to try to do this series just simulating. I'm not sure if you want me to play some big games. Maybe I could try doing that, but it's going to be, at least the majority will be simulation. So I guess I'll keep it on professional, because that's usually what I play on. Professional / world class is what I play on. Probably world class if I do go in, but I'll keep it as that for now. 6-minute halves, playing using the Sterling. European competitions are enabled. Financial takeover, we're going to keep that disabled. Keep the money that we have here, because I think the budget is quite large. Negotiation strictness. Now, I haven't played manager mode in a couple of years. This is something new. Set the club and player strictness to negotiate transfers. I did look into this and do a lot of research. Supposedly strict is too strict, so I'm going to keep it as loose, and we'll go from there. If we go into another series, I'd love to do a Serie A series, since most of the knowledge about European football that I do have comes from Italy. That would be fun. So we could change that moving forward, but I'll keep it as loose. International job offers, sure, and transfer window in the first summer, we'll keep that on as well. The stadium, we have nothing to touch upon there, and we are ready to shine.
A warm welcome to you all. Without further delay, we are pleased to introduce your new manager.
I'm liking the look. I tried to make it look as much as data as possible. Pretty good. There he is with that jersey. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Manager data. All right, so preseason tournament invites, easy way to make some money. The Champions Trophy, European Shield, and South America Continental Cup. That one's offering us the most money. All of them are 4-star difficulty, so may as well go for the toughest one, for the one that gives us the most money. They've been invited to participate in a preseason friendly tournament. This is a great opportunity to get to know all the players in your squad, experiment with different tactics, and get the team ready for the upcoming season. There's also prize money for doing well in the tournaments. We won't do any gameplay today, but I just want to get in this episode through the team, get to know who our players are. Are we going to have some targets for who we're buying? Are we going to be putting people out on loan, selling some players? We'll get to that. First, let's start off with the mail, and then I'll bring you through what is available to us in manager mode if you are new to FIFA. Mr. Data, we recognize that you, the coaching staff, and the players are recovering from a particularly demanding season. Well, it's my first season. We appreciate the recent invite, blah, blah, blah. Important transfer market news that's open. Youth Academy report. Okay, so what's new here in FIFA 22 is that as opposed to in the past where you had to get all your own youth players, you still do, but now you start off with players already in your Youth Academy, which makes a lot of sense. In the Youth Academy, since there's no draft like in the NHL or in the MLB, there's no draft. You are scouting for youth players. You sign 15, 16, 17-year-olds, and then if they make it moving up in their potential, then you sign them to your senior squad, put them out on loan to other teams until they're ready to play for the big team. So based on our initial analysis, we feel that Adewale Dasu in particular has outstanding ability. Okay, let's see what he's up to here in the Youth Academy. Oh my goodness. So he is a 17-year-old, 53 overall from Nigeria, 6'5", already with 70 to 94 potential. It's a big range. You know, it's more like maybe 81 to 88 maybe, who knows? But that's great to see right now. Eamon Rahman, another goaltender, 62 to 86. Tomasz Petek with 51 to 71. I'm going to let him go right away at 37 overall and that low of a potential. I'm going to just release him. No need to keep him on board. Mathieu Callens from Belgium. Not too terrible. Milenko Vinsky from Serbia, and Baraka Madari from Saudi Arabia, age 15. Another one that I'd probably let go. I'll keep him just because he's 15. There's still time to develop, but I doubt he's going to make it. Same with Vinsky, but Adewale Dasu looking amazing. Whew, can't wait to get him going in the future. Vision and expectations. Good morning, Mr. Data. We are delighted to have you join us. We're all looking forward to seeing you enjoy success at our football club. For Arsenal, achievement is not just measured by results on the pitch. We have a brand to enhance, a business to grow, and a fan base to please. Given Arsenal's identity and our long-term plans, key areas we would like you to focus on include blah, 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 all those things they've told us before. I'll look at those more specifically in a... Actually, you can look at them right here. Okay, so here are the main objectives for us. Some are now, some are over the next few seasons. Youth development, sign 4 players, 1 goalie, defense, midfielder, forward. Okay, that's short term. Long term, within 2 seasons, sign 1 youth player to the senior team and play them in 10 matches as a starter or as a substitute. We could do that. Get 7 clean sheets in home league matches and sign 1 player of a different nationality from the one of the club. That is not English. Within 2 seasons, increase your club worth by 15% through player salaries and competition prize money rewards. Domestically, finish in a Champions League place. So that means there's a... Well, I'll go through the standings in a moment, but there's certain spots where you finish in the league standings. Since there's no playoffs for a trophy, it goes by the league table. I'll explain that. And in the FA Cup, reach the final. Oof. Continental success, no objectives. Okay, thank you very much. We'll look at the standings in a moment. Assistant manager, first guy over. Good news, Mr. That's weird. Elliot Hurst has sent us his initial scouting report. He has found 12 players in England. Perhaps we'll take a look. Okay. So as you're playing, you send out specific information. You say, okay, I want young players. I want center backs. I want ones who are poachers, ones who are aerial threats. You can do all those things, and the scouts, your professional scouts, will go and find those around the leagues that you send them to. So right now, this scout has discovered all these players. If I want to know more about someone, for example, let's say Ruben Neves over here, I say, okay, I know that he's worth 39.5 million. I know that his wage is 76,000 a week. I know the range of those things, but I want to know everything. I want to know him fully scouted. So please go scout him, and he will be done in 3 days because he's already mostly known. Someone who's not really known at all, this guy, where I don't know like any big question marks, that will take more. That'll take 6 days to scout. So anyways, it's a 5-star scout. he'll do well. Donny van de Beek, we already know about him, for example. Tells us all his highest rated attributes, his overall, has that special something. It could say that his contract's expiring, that he's injured, that's any information on that. So he has that special something. Good to know. Last but not least here, introductions. Good morning, Mr. again. May I introduce myself? Yes, you may. My name is Elliot Hurst, and I'm one of your scouts. I want to say hello and let you know how the other scouts and I can help you. So you can scout by region or by player specific. This I already know. Thank you very much, Elliot. So Elliot is scouting in England. Patrick is in Italy. Connor is in Spain. Albert is anywhere, so I could send him wherever I want to go. And Yagup is also anywhere if I need them to go somewhere. So we're starting with a great scouting network here. Multiple 5-star scouts, which is not the case when you have a smaller club. Any position that's promising, any position of a first-team player who's a playmaker, and any first-team quality central midfielder is currently being scouted. We'll evaluate the team and see what other positions we may want to get scouted. No player chats here at the moment. So here we are. There's the manager data. Arsenal excited about future under data. This is a great image right here. This could be, I'm not sure what the thumbnail is going to be, with something like that. Oh, yes. That's beautiful. That's just beautiful. Manager data. Okay. Messi going to PSG, all the real life stuff. Donnarumma to PSG. Sergio Ramos going to PSG. Hakimi, all the PSG stuff. So here's the main page where we start off here. There's training days, notifications, standings, which would usually be the season, but right now it's the preseason tournament, top scorers, weekly schedule, and development. So I'll start off with the central page here. When it comes to development, this is something that's new in, at least for me, maybe not in FIFA 22, but new to me. What you can do is assign certain programs to the player so that they develop in a certain way. So Ramsdale here, a player who has good potential, he's a 78 overall. Right now, if I give him balanced growth, in 20 weeks, he will be a 79 overall. But if I specifically want him to work on goalkeeper diving and reflexes, he'll be a 79 overall in 7 weeks. If I want him to work on his handling and kicking and positioning, he'll be a 79 overall in 6 weeks. So I'd like him to work on that. I don't care much about his acceleration and his sprint speed. So work on that, for example, and he'll be a 79 overall in 6 weeks. This I'm going to do all by myself off screen. I'll give every single player a specific development plan, and I'll get to that later on. Training now, when it comes to training days, every single player on your team has to be kept sharp. Well, I mean, not every single player, every player that you want to be playing. Your reserves obviously won't be as game fit and sharp, but the guys who you're playing week in, week out, you want them to be sharp, especially for simulating. So you don't want to train the day before the game. You want to keep fitness high, and you want to keep sharpness as close to 100 as possible. The sharper they are, the more boost to their overall that they get. So what I'm going to do off screen as well is play some of these drills to get high ratings, because once you play the drill, for example, this one, dribbling maze, if I got an A or a B, that score is locked in every time I simulate the drill. It was all, no matter who the players are, it will always be an A or a B, whatever I got. But if I just simulate them all right now, they'll all get a D. The D means that it's a +2 for sharpness. If I get an A, I think it's a +10 or 12 for sharpness. So I definitely want to get as high of a grade as possible. Different drills are more taxing for fitness and more beneficial for sharpness. It could be -2 fitness and +2 sharpness, -10 fitness +8 sharpness. There's a lot of different possibilities depending on the drill that we choose. You don't need to be too concerned about that though. Weekly schedule here. We know that we have training days, rest days, then we're taking on Real Betis on the 4th, then we're taking on, well, the preseason tournament, that is, all these different friendlies. After these 3 games against the friendlies, we'll try to make it out of our group, go to the semifinals, etc., etc. We have a pretty good group, actually. It's not a tough group on our side. The other side is probably more difficult. Group B, Inter, Villarreal, River Plate, and Boca Juniors. So we'll see who makes it out of the group, and then we'll try to make as much money as possible. Going to the squad now. There's the squad that, well, once you get a national squad, you can switch to that, but right now it's just the club squad. The squad hub, that gives us all the information that we just saw at the development screen. The different team sheets where you can have, this one's 4-4-1-1 a formation, which means you have 4 defensemen, 4 midfielders, 1 center fielder, and 1 striker. That's a 4-4-1-1. We could do, 3-5-2, 4-4-2, all kinds of different permutations of the 11 players that you have out there. Not including the goalie, obviously, in the 4-4-2. Edit players, you can't do much in the edit player. I don't really want to do too much. I don't want to change, for example, you can go to Ramsdale. We'll keep using Ramsdale. You can't change his name, you can't change his number, but you can start changing things about his kit. That's pretty much it. Not a big deal. And then, of course, here when you go to your squad, you have the entire starting 11, you have your substitutes for this next upcoming game, and you have your reserves, players that are usually, in the 60s, that aren't going to be playing too often, a couple appearances in a season, something like that. That's why you send them out on loan to keep them somewhat sharp. Everyone starts at 50 sharpness and content morale. That can be boosted through press conferences and things like that. But here's how the team currently looks. Honestly, I'd probably want it to look more like this. Presto changeo there, just as the starting 11 for any random given game. But obviously that will change as more players are in or out of form, injuries, transfers, etc. But this is how I'd probably want it to look. So Xhaka right now, he's a center defensive mid playing as a center mid. So they give me a little exclamation point. Doesn't hurt anything too much. But for example, if I played him as a left back, no, I don't know, if I played him as a goalie here, it would be a major exclamation point saying that there's something wrong over here. Negative 61 overall, as you can see over the 79. If I play him as a left back, though, it's a negative 6. And if I play him as a center mid, just because from a center mid to center defensive mid, not a big difference. There's no change in overall. So the positions do have an impact on the overall. From here, you can go and look at the formations that you might want to try, all kinds of different formations. You can look at different tactics, the roles of each player, who's captain, who's taking corners, who's taking penalties, and different instructions for what they should be doing along the way. On the player, you can look at their mental and physical stats, their skill attribute stats, their traits, and other player info there. I'm going to just stop it off there because there's not much else to say, because there's still some changes to the squad that we'll make as we go. I wouldn't mind strengthening the defense a little bit. 77 overall center back isn't ideal. Overalls are very different from other sports games as well here, as this is a pretty average team. Like the best players in the world are going to be low to mid 90s, the absolute best overalls, which is similar to NHL, but the difference is that very good average players are probably 84, 85, 86 as opposed to 88, 89, 90 in NHL, if you're looking for a comparison there. Going to the transfer screen now, we already saw this. This is what our scouts are looking at for us. They're different scouting attributes and stuff like that we're looking for. The transfer network, that's where we assign our scouts. Search for players is a great feature in FIFA. It's so easy to find players by their position, country, region. You can just look for all players who are transfer listed for loan, who have a release clause, things like that. Go by age, country, league, etc. So let's just say I'm looking for, I don't know, Cristiano Ronaldo. I start just typing it in. There he is. Oops, clicked on the wrong guy. Cristiano Ronaldo, there we go. 36 years of age, Manchester United, 91 overall. Value isn't a ton because he is 36 years of age, but he does make £230,000 a week. 95 jumping, 95 composure, blah, 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 94 shot power, and you can look at him like this. So, for example, I could shortlist, and shortlist means pretty much watch list, and then put him in the transfer hub. And then when I exit back out to the normal transfer screen that I was just looking at, if I go to the transfer hub, Ronaldo is sitting there. It tells me a bit more about him, his skill moves, his weak foot, his different traits, and I can click, okay, I can approach to buy, approach to loan, or even I can delegate the assistant manager to go and buy or loan. They give a suggestion that even though his value is 38.5, it would actually cost between 46.8 and 63.4 to get Cristiano Ronaldo. So if I did want to go and buy him from Manchester United, which I'm not going to do, but just to show you, it's a great cutscene. This is really something that FIFA does well. I've enjoyed their addition of this over the last few years. Good to see you. Been looking forward to sitting down with you. Shall we make a start? Says Mr. Data. Bringing in Manchester United's rep here. He has a seat in the office. Nice jerseys, bottles of water, taking it easy, suit jacket. So we can say we can offer a transfer fee, a player swap. I can offer all these different players that are on my team, or I can just even add a sell-on clause where if I buy Ronaldo for, let's say, 40 million, and then I sell him for 50 million, and there's a 10% sell-on clause, well, Manchester United gets back $5 million. So transfer fee, I'd say, okay, I'm ready to give you 35 million for Cristiano Ronaldo, straight up 35 million, and I can press X to skip it, and they'll say, oh, you're going to have to move on from that. How about 59.9 million? And from there, you can counter, accept, or end the negotiation. So I'll end negotiations. I'm not really looking to get Ronaldo, but if I were to accept it, then the next thing would be to meet with Ronaldo's agent, and we'd talk about how much he's going to get paid for a week, what's his signing bonus, etc. So that's great. I'm going to go ahead and remove him from the short list now, and that is how that works. I'm looking forward to that in the next episode. Going to the office now. Here at the office, we have no notifications. We can look at our finances. Finances, this is a huge element, especially when it comes to the success and the board expectations, all that stuff. The budget allocation right now is 78.5 million for the transfer budget and 462,000 a week for the wage budget. That's what we could be spending. So let's say I bought a player who would want big money. Maybe more like this would be a good allocation if they want 200,000+ per week. So that means I could I could spend close to 90 million pounds if I wanted to go out and get a player here. I just confirmed that on the budget. You can change that around as needed if need be. So I put it up to 90 million or whatever. The current wages are 1.8 million pounds. So we're paying a lot of money to our players at the moment per week. Board expectations, we already saw that. The youth staff, we do want to make sure we have a lot of youth staff scouting around the world. So we do have Luca Randall, an English scout. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and send him to England. Into Northern Europe. May as well scout for the homegrown talent. Let's do 6 months in England, and then I'll hire another scout here. Don't want to spend too much money, but we do have the budget. May as well get another English scout, right? Would cost 2.4. More experience means finding more players. More judgment means finding higher quality players. I'd prefer to get one with 5-star, 5-star, but 4-star, 4-star. Would that be crazy? I don't know. I want to spend too much money off the bat, but we'll probably make more money from... You know what? Let's do it then. Charles, welcome, buddy. I'm going to send you to Italy, being a bit biased towards Italian players. I'm going to do 6 months in Italy, and I'd be down to hire one more scout to do maybe, there's an Italian scout. Maybe France, perhaps? That would be a good one, but I'll just keep it at 2 scouts for the moment. I'll let them set up their scouting networks. Now, every month, they're going to send me a report, and we'll see what players are getting discovered. We can either let them go, or we can sign them to our youth squad. My career, browse jobs, nothing that I really want to look at right now. Then at the season, you can see the calendar, you can see the team stats, player stats, settings, other leagues, etc. So that is pretty much the overview. I could go in more depth of anything that you want to know in particular. But I think what we should do now to finish it off is just go through the entire squad, see who we definitely want to keep, maybe who we definitely want to leave, and we'll sort by overall and go from top to bottom. So we don't have a ton of high overall players, but it's a decently well-rounded team. We have 2 84 overall players, starting off with Thomas Partey, who is wearing the captain's band at the moment, at the club since 2020. Squad role is crucial. So, of course, the squad role also plays a role because if they're crucial but not playing a lot, they're going to be upset. If they're rotation, but you're playing them every game, they'll be very happy. So he is a crucial player. We can look at his development here. So he has good physical stats, pretty well-rounded midfielder, which is definitely what you want for a center mid and a center defensive mid. Long shot taker, love me some long shot takers. We'll check the financials in a moment, but there's an 84 overall. Then we have Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang at the club since 2018. He was a huge acquisition when he came over. He doesn't quite have the same pace that he used to have, but still 89 pace, 87 acceleration, 91 sprint speed. At the age of 32, the attributes are starting to fall off, but he is a solid player, and he has a lot of good traits. So Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, do we keep him as the star, or is he aging and we look to ditch him? I don't know. Bernd Leno at the club since 2018 as well, 82 overall goalkeeper. Martin Odegaard has that special something. He is 22 years of age from Norway. If you played FIFA back, FIFA 15, 16, you may remember that he was the 16-year-old wonder kid on Real Madrid, but now he is a permanent player on Arsenal. Crucial squad role, 82 overall at the age of 22. We're definitely going to be developing him. Great passing and dribbling, a very solid midfielder, and he has some good attributes and traits here that could make him a solid contributor when it comes to the goal scoring. And I'm very excited to see what Martin Odegaard does on this team. I can't wait to grow him up. Lacazette, his contract expiring in 12 months. He is a striker / center fielder. He is also crucial, 82 overall. He is from France, shades of Thierry Henry. Gabriel, 23-year-old Brazilian center back. For his age and overall, it's pretty solid. Important role. He is an everyday player for sure. Kieran Tierney, 24-year-old left back from Scotland at the club since 2019, 80 overall. Saka is perhaps the most exciting player on the team, 19 years of age, an exciting prospect, plays left and right mid, already an 80 overall at 19 years of age. He has very high potential. He did some good things for England at the Euros as well. His worth is already 39 million. Odegaard 42, by the way, if you're curious, as you can see right above him, makes 43,000 a week. He has 3 more years on his contract, has good pace and dribbling and pretty decent passing already. Nicolas Pepe, a lot of money spent on Pepe as well from Arsenal. They made a huge investment in him. I forget the exact number, but it was many, many millions of pounds. 26-year-old from the Ivory Coast, 80 overall right mid. He also has some good potential to grow. Matteo Guendouzi, again, I'm not going to pretend that I know every single player here, so hopefully I'm not pronouncing that wrong. He is currently out on loan to Olympique Marseille. He is a 22-year-old, 79 overall, so he will have some good growth as well. I cannot control his development. All I can do is recall him from the loan if I wanted to. It would cost a lot of money, so I don't want to do that. But in theory, I could call him back or send players on loan back. Don't want to do that. So he is currently on loan. He'll be back next season. Xhaka from Switzerland, on the club since 2016, one of the longest serving players, if not the longest. I haven't seen anyone longer yet. Important role, 28 years of age. A couple of players out on loan, Torreira and Bellerin at Real Betis, who are about to play in a couple days. Aaron Ramsdale, our starting goaltender, great potential, 23 years of age, 78 overall. Smith Rowe, another 20-year-old with good potential and overall at 78. Holding, 25-year-old, 77 overall center back at the club since 2016 as well. So he's been, I guess, a youth development as well. If he's been here since he was 18, 19. Saliba on loan at Olympique Marseille as well. Benjamin White, 23-year-old center back, 77 overall. So lots of potential on this team. Tomiyasu, the Japanese right back. Not a lot of Japanese players in the top flights of Europe, so really happy to have one of them. 22 years of age and 77 overall. El Neni, 76 overall, 28 years of age. So this is a guy I'd maybe consider selling. With, he's in his later 20s and he's not an everyday player for us. Maybe this is someone I'd consider selling. He also has a value of 5.5 million, taking up 54,000 a week. Wouldn't mind selling him. Martinelli, 20 years of age, an exciting prospect, 76 overall, left mid. Callum Chambers, 26-year-old, 75 overall. Mavropanos is on loan, 75 overall, 23 years of age. Maitland-Niles at the club since 2014, really? So since he was 16, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. So 75 overall, 23 years of age. It would be great to grow him up as the longest serving player at the moment. Kolasinac, I believe. Kolasinac from Bosnia-Herzegovina. He is 28 years of age, 75 overall. Pablo Mari, 27, 75 overall. Cedric, 29 and 75 overall. Maybe another candidate to be sold. Albert Sambi Lokanga, 21 years of age, 74 overall, showing great potential. So you see on the status, if it says something like showing great potential, it means that they're going to develop into that 80 range player. If it says has potential to be special, then you know you have someone who's going to be a 90 plus overall. Nketiah here, hopefully again pronouncing that all right, 73 overall, 22 years of age. Nelson out on loan. Tavares, maybe. Tavares. I know it's Portuguese is a different pronunciation than John Tavares, for example, in the NHL. Someone have to correct me there. 72 overall, showing great potential. Runnarsson, Icelandic goalie, he's out on loan. Daniel Ballard on loan. And then we have a bunch of other players who are in the low 60 overalls out on loan. Balogun here, 19 years of age, showing great potential at 65. Akinola, Idaho, Chirian, Patino. These are some tough pronunciations. Then you have a 60 overall, 60 overall, 61. Some more youth here that we could definitely think about loaning these guys out. Financially, when it comes to the contracts here, players who do have under a year left at the January transfer window, you can only transfer during the transfer windows, buy and sell. You can't do it at any time in the season. The summer transfer window, and you have entirety of January as the winter transfer window. So if a player has 6 months or less on their contract, you can sign them to a pre-contract contract, I suppose that's what they call it, where once their contract finishes, they'll come to your team. So you don't want to lose your players like that, but you could get a lot of good players like that. So players who we definitely do want to keep who have 1 year left, I'd like to extend them ASAP. Ones who we don't mind letting go, maybe we just let them go. Maybe we try and transfer them. If they are young enough, they can't be signed to that agreement. I'm not sure what the cutoff is, but I know that our 18 and 17-year-olds can't be poached from other teams like that. But Lacazette, for example, would be one of those guys, so I'd look to extend him. You know, it does take up a lot of money, that $54,000 a week. He's one of our highest paid guys, for example, the midfielder I'm thinking about selling. Not one of the highest, but he's up there, $54K a week, and he's not really playing much. So he would be a guy that I'd put on the transfer list. Not the loan list or anything like that, but I would put him on the transfer list and see if any teams want to send me offers. Because we can always get a much better everyday center mid to replace Zaka here in the everyday spot. We could get a better center back as well. So that means I wouldn't mind selling maybe a guy like a lot of center backs here. I rearranged I like going from attackers to midfielders to defenders. I rearranged everybody. So that means I wouldn't mind selling one of those 75 overalls, Matty, Kolasinac, or Cedric. One of these, I wouldn't mind selling one of those, or even 2 of those, to make room for getting in some more people. Money's not a huge issue. It's more having room in the lineup. So I know one good target right off the bat. I'm not going to go after him, but I will try and get him scouted. That is Renato Sanchez, a player who has been linked to Arsenal in the real world and is a good career mode player. 23-year-old, yeah, that would be a good option for us. 80 overall, with I think potential to grow to 83, 84. So we already know a lot about him. Shot power 89. Oof, I'd love to get Renato Sanchez in here. So I'm going to go ahead and shortlist Renato Sanchez. And if you think we should go after him, then please let me know and I'll look into that. If you have any ideas, if you want to know more about players we should go after, just look up FIFA potentials. Go on sofifa.com and you would find a lot of good stuff there. You can even find the potentials of our own players and how they're going to grow if fostered correctly. So what I'm going to do right now is just set up the development plans of every single player on the team. Whether we're going to keep them or not, I'll just take care of that right now. Then I'll get the training set up, make sure the scouts are good to go, and then, hey, we'll call it an introductory episode. Alright, so everybody has their development plan to help them grow in their overall. I also sent out some players, or not sent out players, but listed them on the loan list. So sorting by overall, all these young players, loan, you can see on the status on the side, all these guys listed for loan, waiting for teams to contact me, telling me that they want to take them out on loan. Basically everyone under 72 overall. So all these players are going to be listed, they're either on loan or being listed for loan. And hopefully teams come and contact us regarding all of that. I'll leave the financials and the transfers and all that stuff for next episode, but all that has been taken care of. What I can do now is just quickly do some simulation here. So I'm going to play these 3 trainings, get as high as a result as possible, and then you'll see the results give us some nice sharpness. So in the first and third drill, A, so plus 12 on sharpness, very nice, up to 62. But in the second drill, I had a B, and then I messed up the pass. If you know the drill in Extreme Hot Potato, I went out of bounds, and it was an automatic F. And I was like, oh, so that was a 0 there. But as you can see, the A gives it a plus 12. So every time we do dribbling maze or defending scenarios from now on, it will always be an A. Extreme Hot Potato, I'll have to redo next training day, obviously, because that was a bit disappointing. So then it simulates to the next training day. Actually, it's a couple days of rest, because you can actually go into the calendar and change that you want rest before the game, you want a recharge day after. Let's see what we have. A little bit of mail after our first day. Ooh, lots of messages here. So El Neni here. I'm glad you decided to put me up for sale, to be honest. I haven't really enjoyed playing here, and I think a move's probably in everyone's best interest. All right, then get out of here. I'm glad we agreed. Bye. And his morale goes up. That's nice. Thanks, boss. I think a loan move might be just what I need. Thanks, boss. Thanks, boss. Thanks, boss. Everyone's... Oh, here. Greetings, boss. On behalf of the whole team, I wanted to welcome you to Arsenal, the current captain. Future's exciting. We've got plenty of work to do. We've got plenty of work to do. That's it. Thanks. We've got a long season ahead of us, Thomas. I'll be expecting nothing but the very best from you and the rest of the lads. All these guys, I'll just tell them, glad we agree. All right, everyone's morale goes up. Lovely. No other mail at the moment. Okay. So I won't keep advancing now, but as you can see with the Z's there in the Dream Cloud and the battery for the recharge, you can change what you want between every day here. So schedule before match rest day, after match recovery day, during the week intermittent training, intermittent rest, only training, only rest. You can do all kinds of different things. So I'll keep it as the default here, rest day, recovery day, and intermittent training. I won't touch anything else, but that can be changed, especially during the off season. It'll cost more for the fitness if we do more training, but it'll also raise their sharpness and their overalls in conjunction with their training plans. I do have some players in mind who I'd like to target according to FIFA. You can see players who are 60, 70 overall, who have 80, 90 potential, stuff like that, plus just current players that could help us for the squad right now, aside from Renato Sanchez. So as you can see, the overalls are going up due to sharpness, the fitness is going down due to training, stuff like that. But when it comes to match day, I'm excited to see what we can do in this preseason tournament and moving into our first season at the helm of Arsenal FC. So thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed the little overview here of manager mode. I hope you have the gist of everything. Please leave any question that you may have. I know that usually the content on the channel here is NHL, but we love everything manager mode, FIFA, MLB, F1, and so forth. And speaking of all that, a lot of that is happening over on the Twitch channel, where we're doing Mets manager mode with the New York Mets, and we're doing a My Team F1 for the 11th team on the Formula 1 grid. That's all. It's just a blast to be able to manage these teams and to have a fun time. Seattle Kraken NHL 22 on the YouTube channel as well, so make sure that you are subscribed. As of this recording now, we're just a couple subscribers away from 3,500 here at the end of 2021, so we'd love to have you join on to the team here on YouTube and on the Discord server, link for that in the description as well, where you can provide your suggestions for this series and all the other series, talk about your own franchise modes, sports, and everything else. So leave a comment down here on YouTube or on the Discord server for your thoughts on Arsenal FC. Let's bring this team back to glory. Let's win the Premier League. Let's get some European success over the next few years, and we're going to have a blast. So thank you so much for watching, and I do look forward to seeing you in the next one.